Welcome to MarketTamer.com. You're looking at a chart of the S&P 500, and we'll come back to this chart in just a couple of moments. But first, let's switch over here to some of our trading ideas. And so you can see some of the trading ideas triggered today, and most of them are bullish. Obviously, for members, you get to see all of the trading ideas triggered today. If we just take a note of a couple of them, first couple, for example, BIIB and V are the ticker symbols. We'll look at those in just a moment. But before we do, let's concentrate on this chart of the S&P 500 and note that we had this big downtrend. We were looking at some of the trading ideas a few days ago, noted that they were predominantly bearish along with the trend. And then we have this choppy action. And so obviously when we're looking at our trading ideas, predominantly right now we're looking at lagging indicators. So if the market is trending down, then we'll typically follow the market down. Once the market starts to turn back up, we'll start to see more bullish opportunities present. And so that's what we saw today. The trend following indicators were obviously spotting a lot of opportunities today. Let's just change the symbol here and take a look at one of those opportunities, and it was Biogen IDEC, which is ticker symbol BIIB. So you might look at this and say, well, why would this be triggered today? And this is maybe a good example of a good question from the trading ideas site, given that the market was up and yet this stock is down. And so generally the way we look at the trading ideas and the way we compute them is to identify the general trend. So for example, right now the general trend in this stock actually has been up, as you can see. And so often, even when stocks go up, they don't always go up in a straight line. You can see throughout this uptrend here in December, for example, we had a down day here, we had a down day, we had a down day, we had a down day. And yet throughout the trend all the way up, it doesn't go up always in a straight line. There will be down days, and yet at the end of the trend, we see that there's been a much greater move to the upside than to the downside. And in fact, those downside pullbacks were just that, just pullbacks, and nothing to be too concerned about. So if you see pullbacks, that's not necessarily something to be worried about. In fact, often pullbacks are great opportunities to get into positions as opposed to trying to chase a trend. Here's an example of a stock that was up today. Visa was up $1.10, up 1.3%, closing at 85.88. And you can see essentially what's been happening here. It's been pretty choppy action. So if I'm looking at a trading idea, ideally what I want to see is some conviction in the move. And if I'm scanning through multiple trading ideas, for example, we've looked at a couple here, BIIB and V, what am I going to prefer to virtual trade to try and get better and improve my performance? Well, where I'll begin is the stock that typically shows good trending nature. For example, Biogen here, it had some choppiness here, September, October, but it really came off a cliff here in mid to late October, and then November it started to ramp up very, very aggressively again, and that's really positive. That's exactly what I like to see: periods of consolidation followed by trends, because then you can really take advantage in a shorter time frame. And obviously with the trading ideas, that's what we're looking at, more shorter time frames where we can look to take advantage. Obviously what we're going to find is that not every position is going to win every day, but we're just looking to increase the probability based on the current move in the stock and the expected move over the future. Just to note, one of the very few bearish positions that we saw today was in fact this position, the iShares Barclays 20+ year Treasury bond fund. And what we see is that the trend actually has been down here for some time. So just interesting that a move up to resistance can often signal a bearish trend to the future. So with that, we thank you for your time. Look forward